What's up, y'all? If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Tyanne, but a lot of people call me Taj. So today's video is going to be a lot of bit different than the videos that I normally post on my channel. If you're new here and kind of just don't really know what kind of content I put out, I am a licensed realtor here in the state of South Carolina. I currently service the Columbia and Fort Jackson area. So if you or anybody that you know are looking to buy or sell a home here, I am definitely your home girl. But wait, Tyanne, I want to buy or sell a house, but not in the state of South Carolina. Can you still help me? Absolutely. My geographical network expands across all 50 states. So what you can do is you can reach out to me. I can figure out what exactly your real estate needs are, and I can get you started on the process and then refer you over to a trusted realtor in your area. So now that we got the shameless plug out of the way, if you clicked on this video, it's probably because 1, you have no idea what InvestFest is, 2, you've heard of InvestFest but you don't really know what it is, or 3, you've heard what InvestFest is, you don't know anyone who's personally gone, and you want to know, is it worth the investment? And if you're looking for answers to any of those 3, you're in the right place. Don't worry, I got you. I made the investment. I partook in InvestFest 2022. I think I got a good enough gist of what it is and if it's worth the money that it costs to go, because let's be honest, you're not getting in for free. Okay? You got to show up with some coins, and it costs a pretty penny. I was fortunate enough to get my ticket on pre-sale. So I do want to say I did only purchase a general admission ticket. So my experience versus someone who purchased a VIP ticket is going to be completely different. However, I am manifesting a VIP ticket and a vendor spot for next year, because yes, they did have vendor spots. But I'm getting a little bit beside myself. Let's kind of break it down a little bit. I don't want this video to be too long. Throughout the video, I am going to be inserting clips kind of to the side to show you what I'm talking about. Everyone was able to film during InvestFest, so I was able to get a couple clips just to kind of give you a better idea of what to expect. I know next year, like no 2 years are going to be the same, but just so you get an idea of what it was like and if it's something that you or your business should invest in. So before we jump into InvestFest, we have to cover Earn Your Leisure. If you do not know what Earn Your Leisure is, it started off as a podcast with these 2 gentlemen named Rashad and Troy, and they started it to just educate the culture and the community. And when I say the culture and the community, I'm talking about specifically minority communities, so people of color. They wanted to educate all of us on financial literacy. They wanted to help us get the information that we don't normally have access easily and readily to, information we normally would have to go digging for, and if we're being honest, information that a lot of other races and ethnicities kind of have a little bit easier access to or better first-hand examples of. So they educate you on things such as stocks, real estate, crypto. They also bring other people onto their platform because, like I said, it did start off as just a podcast. They still do have that podcast, which I highly recommend you go check it out. Their podcast is amazing. I've been listening to it for like the last year or 2, and the gems that are on there you just won't find anywhere else, broken down in terminology in ways that if you are someone of color, you from an inner city, like you would be able to understand the way that they break it down. And that is the whole purpose of their podcast, the whole purpose of their brand. So I bring up brand because they have now since expanded a lot further and a lot wider than just a podcast. They've had amazing guests and they've hosted live podcasts. They've dominated the podcast financial industry as far as the minority community goes. So they've taken it a step further and now decided that every year they are going to put on what is known as Invest Festival, which is pretty much the Coachella of financial literacy. I mean, when we're talking culture, they had everything. I'm talking performances from rappers and singers and artists. Again, I did only get general admission tickets. So if you got VIP, you got access to Friday night, which had, I think, like a mixer and other musical performances. So they thought of everything. They meshed the culture with the financial literacy so that you weren't just sitting there bored listening to people talk about stocks, which shouldn't be boring, but they found a way to spice it up and kind of keep you awake and to just, add a little sazon and make it for the culture, which is what their brand, honestly, I believe, is built upon. So now that I've given you a little bit of backstory into the gentleman that started InvestFest, I want to get into my InvestFest experience. I do want to preface this with saying that everything that I'm going to say in this video is of my own opinion and things that I witnessed and experienced firsthand. This is not sponsored, but I mean, Earn Your Leisure InvestFest. If you're looking to add someone onto your marketing team, please holla at your girl. My email is in the description below. Shameless plug. But yeah, I'm just giving my honest opinion because when I was on the fence deciding if I was going to invest and make the investment in myself to go to InvestFest, there wasn't a lot of information out there. However, granted, I also do think it's important to note that this year, 2022, was only the second annual Invest Festival. So last year was the first. I heard about the first, but unfortunately, I was still living in Italy. If you don't know about why I was living in Italy, you definitely, you got some catching up to do. I would say go watch the videos on my channel because not only do I drop real estate gems, because remember, I am a realtor, but I kind of give a little bit of backstory into who I am, where I'm from, etc., etc. But last year when they had their first InvestFest, I was still living in Italy, so unfortunately I could not attend. This year, I obviously live back in the States, and I was not missing this, okay? Not for nothing. I waited a little last minute to get my ticket and to get everything together, but I knew I was going, and yeah, I just had to close my eyes and take a leap of faith. And here I am telling you guys all about it. So the way that I'm going to structure this video, I kind of want to break it down in half. I don't want to call them pros or cons because I feel like when you're investing in yourself and when you're gaining financial literacy and knowledge about stocks and real estate and crypto, I don't think any of that, there's no cons to that. There's no cons to that, in my opinion. However, I do want to just structure my list because I did write 2 lists because that's just the Virgo in me. But I wrote kind of 2 lists of things that I thought were executed perfectly and then things that I think next year there's room for improvement, pretty much. Like nothing is perfect. Again, this is only their second year. So there are going to be mishaps. There are going to be things that are missed. And that just comes with experience. I'm sure as the years goes on and this becomes a bigger and better event because it is already becoming a bigger and better event. I told you guys last year was the first year. Last year, they only had 35 people. I'm not going to just say only 35, like that's not a lot. But that was how much they had last year for the first Invest Festival. This year, the second Invest Festival, there was, wait for it, 12,000 of us, mainly minorities. So I'm talking 12,000 brown and black people from all over, literally put their money where their mouth is, invested in not just themselves, but their businesses, their futures, their families' futures, and got together to just soak up as much knowledge as they possibly could and network and build connections with people from all over. It honestly was such an amazing experience to be part of. So I definitely just Earn Your Leisure, if you guys ever come across this video, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing for the culture. I myself, as a realtor, I pride myself on educating the culture because ignorance is bliss. And we're at a point in time where ignorance can no longer be an excuse. You're not invested in stock, real estate, crypto because you don't know enough about it. That's not a good enough excuse in 2022. There are resources. There are podcasts that you could listen to like Earn Your Leisure. There are podcasts like the MELANATED Mindset, my podcast that's right here on the screen that you can listen to gain real estate knowledge. So ignorance is just not an excuse. And anytime a minority steps forward and takes on the responsibility of educating the culture, we as a community have to give them their flowers. Earn Your Leisure, Rashad, Troy, and everybody on the Earn Your Leisure team, this is my way of giving you guys your flowers because you absolutely deserve it. And it was a fantastic event. So I done did a lot of talking. Let's get right into this list. So I want to start with the things that were executed perfectly, in my opinion. The first being the location. It was downtown Atlanta at the Georgia World Convention Center, and I just thought it was a very centrally located place. It was right in the heart of downtown Atlanta, and it was very easily accessible whether you were driving. They did have parking, but that did sell out very quickly. So my tip for you, if you're watching this in preparation for InvestFest 2023, pay for parking earlier or map out where you're going to park, where the closest parking lots will be. I don't think that they're going to use this same location next year because they sold out. We were packed in there. So I'm pretty sure they're going to find a bigger location, but that's just something to keep in mind. Like, a lot of people did drive from all over. So if you're going to drive, you definitely need to plan parking ahead of time. The next thing that I think was executed perfectly was the lineup. They had some heavy hitters. Steve Harvey pretty much headline. I'm using headline because I don't know the proper term when we're talking about like a conference or festival. But in the concert world and everything else, it's called the headliner. So that's what I'm calling it. Steve Harvey headlined Saturday. So InvestFest 2022 was from Friday to Sunday. Remember, I said the Friday events were only for if you purchased VIP. Saturday and Sunday were for open to everybody, including general admission. So everything that I'm going to be talking about is just the things that took place on Saturday and Sunday. I cannot speak for any of the events that took place on Friday because unfortunately I was not privy to those events. But the headliners, Steve Harvey headlined on Saturday and Tyler Perry headlined on Sunday. Tyler Perry actually wasn't even originally supposed to attend or speak, but Steve Harvey convinced him to do so because of the Earn Your Leisure relationship that they've built with Steve Harvey, and it was amazing. Like I was saying, the lineup was incredible. Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry were just headliners. There were many and plenty of other people speaking. There were so many panels going on. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with people like the Wall Street Trapper or 19 Keys or Milano Di Rouge or Angela Yee or Kiana Watson. There were so many heavy hitters and so many people that aren't just on that stage telling you what to do with your finances, how to get yourself in a better financial situation. These are people that have actually done it. They were speaking from experience. That was one thing that I loved. Just because you buy a house doesn't make you an expert in real estate investing, but if you buy 19 houses like the owner of Slutty Vegan, then I mean, people want to know how you did that. You done got yourself a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of credentials. You done learned some things, took some L's, turned them into lessons, and you can speak about that. The next thing that I want to mention that I thought was executed perfectly was the opportunities. So aside from the two separate stages that they had going on in two separate conference rooms, so they had the BET stage, which you guys can see here, and then they also had the Vibranium stage, which you guys could see here. So those were completely different stages in completely different areas or completely different conference rooms. And those were the two main stages. So all of the heavy hitters, all of the headliners, like they were speaking on either of those stages at specific times. Aside from that, there was an entire conference room or arena. I don't really know what to call it. There was another big room full with just vendors. I'm talking, you could buy hair care products, skincare products, clothing, books, merch from some of these heavy hitters and some of these headliners and speakers. They have their own brands. They have their own things that they're selling. You could buy them there. There was something for everybody. I don't know a single person that went and did not buy anything. I actually bought quite a bit of stuff. The candle that you guys see burning behind me is actually from one of the vendors at InvestFest, and I wish you guys could smell how good it smells. It's also a wood burning candle, so I apologize if you guys can hear the crackling in the back, but it's just giving very peaceful, very luxurious. I will insert kind of the unboxing of this candle and this brand to give them their shout out right here. And come on, like, do y'all hear that? It's not a one woodwick candle. It's a two woodwick candle. Like, who you know? Look at the packaging. It's so luxurious, and it's just and all of the vendors were minority owned businesses. So picture a room full of at least, I want to say 1,000. I could be exaggerating, but y'all can see the footage for yourself. There was a lot of vendors there. So the opportunities for small businesses, if you invested in yourself for a vendor spot, you came home with a bag. You had to hit some type of sales goal because there was 12,000 people here for you to market to. So for a small business, that is an extensive amount of revenue. Remember, I said this is a weekend event. So I'm pretty sure there are a lot of businesses and vendors that sold out. On top of there being a room full of vendors, they also did not serve or sell any food specifically inside of the conference center. Earn Your Leisure, like it wasn't any catered or anything like that. Like, come on, y'all, it's 12,000 people. That's way too much. So what they did do was allow a plethora. Like, don't just take my word for it. Y'all can see here on the screen a plethora of food trucks to park outside. And when I say my one con is the food truck lines was wild long. Like, I'm talking on Sunday, the wait was like an hour and a half. But I don't think that these food truck vendors anticipated this amount of just revenue or amount of people. So a lot of food trucks actually sold out. I mean, I got my Bahamian food, so shout out to the Real Island Flavor. If you're ever in Atlanta, it was mad good. And you know, they even had like vegan options and healthy options. And speaking of healthy options, hold on, y'all, I need 6 of water. The taste of alkaline, cold, fresh, Black-owned, woman-owned, veteran-owned water. Y'all heard me. And since we're talking about being healthy real quick, I have to give a shameless plug and a shout out to Defy. If you don't know what Defy is, like I said, it's Black-owned, it's woman-owned, it's a veteran-owned company. They sell a plethora of products. They sell pre-workout drinks and immunity-boosting drinks. They sell muscle recovery. They sell alkaline water, which is my absolute favorite product. And I actually have a discount code for you guys. It's going to be right here on the screen. But if you use code Tyanne10, you will be able to get a discount off of your purchase. The coupon code does not expire. So yeah, why not save some money and get some alkaline water and get some healthy products? You should be working out anyway. You trying to be fine. We trying to be healthy. Health and wellness is the goal. And that is definitely what this brand is founded on. And I absolutely love it. Period. Another thing that I think was executed perfectly was the amount of information that was given. This one has an asterisk behind it because we are going to touch on it on is it worth it? Because I am getting there. The information was priceless. Listen, I saw many and plenty of people with notebooks taking notes. I was one of them. As y'all can see, I was recording footage, but I wasn't just recording. I was listening, okay? So the information that you get, I mean, is well worth the price of the ticket, but it also depends on what you're looking to get out of InvestFest. But if information is what you're trying to get, oh, you're definitely going to get it. But we are going to come back to that one. And the last thing that I think was executed perfectly was the networking opportunities. Like, it's a no-brainer that you should have been networking if you're there. If you're going to InvestFest, there was 12,000 people in the room, mainly that look like me. Okay, there is money in that building. There was money in that building. Y'all see all these people? Yeah. So my next business partner could have very well been sitting right next to me. And I love that anytime a speaker was on stage, they kept reminding the crowd of that. You need to be talking to the people to your left and to your right. And honestly, that's what I went for. Did I want to hear what the headliners and the speakers and the panels had to say? Absolutely. But I was more so focused on the people sitting to my left and to my right. Because as my mentor, Tyanne, shout out to you, Tyanne, said, those are the people that are up next. Those are the people that in 2-3 years are going to be worthy of being on the panel. So I was mixing and mingling, and the networking opportunities are endless. I met content creators from all over. I met photographers and videographers from Miami and from Maryland. Like, I met people from all over. So the networking, chef's kiss. Let's move into the things that I think could use some more improvement on. The first being, I know I said that they executed location perfectly. However, I also feel like there could have been more signs. So for example, the actual event, InvestFest, was in Building C of the convention center. If anybody's familiar with the Atlanta area or been in this convention center, it was in Building C. But a lot of Ubers were dropping you off at Building A. So my Uber dropped me off at Building A. And like the building had signs on how to get to Building C. But I ended up just following a sea of people, as you guys can see here. We were just kind of like walking because we saw the black people walking, if I'm being honest. And everybody was dressed up, so we just assumed everybody was going to the same place. So I definitely feel like they could have had more signs. They had some, don't get me wrong, but there definitely could have been more because there were so many doors and entrances that you could have came in, that if you came in after a sign, you kind of just followed in and fell in with the crowd. I don't know. I just feel like it could have been a little bit more clear which direction you should be going in if you did not get dropped off directly in front of Building C, like a lot of us didn't. Another thing that I think could have been improved just a little bit was the timing. So like I said, there were 2 main stages and there were speakers at different times. I'll actually pop up a video of what they had on the website of the itinerary. And as you guys can see, they had the times, they had the stage, and the people that would be speaking. However, as you guys can also see, a lot of these kind of like run almost right into each other. And that runs me into the timing. That is something that I definitely feel like could have used a lot more improvement on, because a lot of the panels did not start at those times, and I'm just keeping it real. So if you were planning to see a panel from 12:15 to 1:15, it probably didn't start until almost 1 o'clock. So if you had something you wanted to see after 1:15, you now have to pretty much miss it to catch what was late, if that makes sense. So the panel's not starting on time, I can't speak for everybody, but it caused me to miss a lot of the speakers that I was trying to see because nothing really was starting on time, so nothing really was ending on time. And they did keep getting on the mic to, let people know like, hey, we're trying to stay on time, but yeah, I don't really know what happened there, but they definitely was room for improvement. Another thing that I think could use a little bit of improvement was the seating. So VIP had their own section, and then there was just like, the fact that there was seats, listen, I'm not really complaining. However, I think that there should have been some type of system or like way to file people in. So just have people fill in the front and then like everybody just come sit, roll behind that, if that makes sense. Like how you would fill up a school auditorium or any other type of auditorium. It was kind of just a free for all. So people just walked up to wherever they wanted to sit, which caused like, okay, if you came with one other person and y'all chose to sit here and a group of 4 people came and they chose to sit here, but there's like one empty seat between y'all. So I know like COVID is still a thing and the Mpox is still a thing, but it was just like a bunch of empty seats because people were like sitting with who they came with, which is fine, but there was also, as y'all can see, a lot of people were just standing on the side. I don't know if there just wasn't enough seats or people just didn't want to scoot between all these people to get to the empty seats. So I feel like if they would have let us in and made us fill in the seats in the front, from the front to the back, that would have eliminated so many people standing around. That I think that could have used a little bit of improvement on was the microphones. There were a lot of mic glitches where the speakers would go out. It wasn't enough where like it ruined the entire speech, but it just was something that I did pay attention to because it did happen almost every single time somebody was speaking. But I don't know if that's an InvestFest Earn Your Leisure thing or if these microphones were provided by the convention center. So that one's just kind of up in the air, and it's not really that big of a deal, but it was just, it started to become a little annoying, and you could tell that the panelists were beginning to get a little bit annoyed, having to like share a mic because somebody's mic wasn't working and constantly swapping out mics. So it was just like a technical glitch that was just unfortunate. So like I was saying, the last thing that I feel like could definitely have used some improvement, and I'm using the word improvement very loosely because there actually wasn't any to my surprise, and that is security. So there was no security to get into this event. There were no metal detectors. Nobody was checked. I came with the bag because I wore heels. And ladies, if you're going to wear heels, please bring flats. It's a lot of walking. Like I said, I got dropped off at building A and had to get to building C. I would definitely recommend bringing some flats. Ladies, gentlemen, if your dress shoes ain't broken into, don't wear them. Because, yeah, y'all want to be comfortable. But I had a bag because I had other shoes to change into and my notebook and, my camera equipment. And I was so nervous on my way there, like, dang, I hope they don't make me, throw any of my stuff out or tell me I can't bring a bag in there. And there was no security. There was no bag check. There was no nothing. And in today's world, that type of lack, I should say, makes me nervous. I'll be lying if I say my anxiety wasn't extremely high the entire event. Like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it, but I still was very cognitive of my surroundings. Because if we're being honest, y'all, we live in a world where there are people that don't like us just because of what we look like. There are people that take the lives of people that look like me just because they look like me. And like I said, there was 12,000 of us in that building. There was money in that building. Y'all heard me say Steve Harvey. Y'all heard me say Tyler Perry. Okay? So the fact that there wasn't any security or a bag check, I know that may be like an extra expense or it would have caused a lot of time delays. I'm not really sure how they could go about doing that, but there definitely needs to be some security because I, for one, was terrified. Somebody could get anything in here, literally could get anything in here. And they definitely should take that into consideration next year. There's way too many minorities in this building trying to better themselves that we open ourselves up to becoming a target, literally and figuratively. So I definitely think next year, like I said, Earn Your Leisure, if y'all are listening, your girl would definitely like to be on your marketing team. Because I don't got nothing really but positive stuff to say. But I also definitely think that security is a must for next year. And that's kind of all that I have for my list. Now, you clicked on this video because you want to know, was it worth it? Was it worth the money that I spent? Like I told y'all in the beginning, I bought general admission tickets. I got my general admission tickets when they were on pre-sale. So the pre-sale price was $249, so $250 US. The original price of general admission would have been $749 US dollars, so $750 USD. I was not trying to pay that. I'm not there yet, but I also didn't want to miss it, so I made sure that I got those pre-sale tickets. So for me, someone that got general admission like the month before and got it on pre-sale, so for me to have spent $250 US dollars, was it worth it to me? Absolutely. Every single dollar spent was worth it. And I would not have changed it. I'm glad I caught the pre-sale. I will say, I said that information in the beginning had an asterisk. Now, it's worth it. It's worth the investment. It's worth the money depending on what you're looking for. So like I said in the beginning, if you're specifically looking for information, that's kind of hit or miss. Because if you're someone like me that does your research, like everybody should be, and you follow a lot of people that are financially literate and educate people on stocks and real estate and crypto, and you stay kind of up on those things, and you know these people, you follow them on social media, you know their individual stories already, I'd say it's not worth it to go just for the information, because a lot of the information that was given from the panelists and from the speakers, I personally already knew, but that's because I follow all of those speakers already. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of it wasn't new information. I specifically went for the networking opportunities. So if you're looking to expand your network and kind of market your business, $250 is a very, very, very small price to pay for that. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the price going up next year, but I'm gonna still make sure I buy them pre-sale tickets, and y'all do too. But if you're going to network and mix and mingle and meet people from all over, you never know who you could meet, who could be in a position to help you or your business get to the next level. So for that is why I am going to say that InvestFest 2022 was absolutely worth every single dime spent. I even spent more than that because, like I said, clearly, I was shopping in the vendors. I got some black owned wine. I got a book called Mahogany Goes to Wall Street. And there was just so much that I just wanted to support everybody. But listen, child, my pockets ain't there yet. So I pick and choose. Like, it was definitely worth the investment. It was definitely worth the investment for me. I found out about a bunch of new black owned businesses. I got to support some black owned businesses, and I got to be a part of history, because that's what this is. They are changing the game. Earn Your Leisure InvestFest is changing the game. Steve Harvey even said it, and I might try to insert the clip here. Hopefully there's no issue with copyright, but he said that he sold out arenas for comedy shows. He's seen arenas and stuff sold out for favorite musicians and rappers and concerts. But he has never in his 65, yes, Steve Harvey 65 and looks damn good. He's never in his life seen an arena of 12,000 people sold out because you want to learn about stocks and real estate and investing. That is absolutely amazing. And that is how we push the culture forward. That is how we change the narrative. That is how we educate ourselves. That's how we put ourselves in rooms to end up in better and bigger rooms and do bigger and better things. So in my personal opinion, your favorite homegirl, literally and figuratively, is going to tell you, if you're a black owned business, you need to be at InvestFest 2023. And that's that on that. And that's on period. So like always, thank you guys for, if you made it to the end of this video, give this video a thumbs up. Was it helpful? Are you going to try to invest in yourself and your business and go to InvestFest 2023? Drop it in the comments below. All of my social media tags will be in the description box below, but I'm going to tell y'all what they are anyway, because if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you doing? It's right here on the screen. You want to follow me because you want to get this black girl magic content. And if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, you need to hit that subscribe button, and you need to turn your post notifications on, because I drop real estate gems on a regular. Okay? I am your favorite homegirl, like I said, literally and figuratively. If you have not heard the Earn Your Leisure podcast, I will link all of those links in the description box as well, along with my podcast, The Melanated Mindset, where you could, again, get some real estate gems. But y'all know the vibes. I will see you, because you ain't come here, get all this black girl magic and all my review and information just to not come back. So, I will see you, yes, you, in my next video. Peace, y'all.